Good evening, my name is Ariana Worthington, and I am here to host this first and I believe only web broadcasted memorial service for my late client, Mr. Charles Bunk. I was surprised to see the list of invitees because I did not know that Mr. Bunk had any friends. Frankly, he did not deserve to have any friends. He was an awful human being. As some of you know, he died hunting wild elephants in Africa. He accidentally brought his paintball gun rather than his real gun, and let's just say the elephant won. But he was sure to tell his guide to let all of us know that that elephant now has a red spot between its eyes. By all means, speak your mind. Hello? Hello? Is anyone listening to me? I guess they told me just to talk. I guess I'm supposed to talk about Charlie. He was a house guest of mine, in 2002. And he wasn't a very nice man, I have to say, I'm sorry that he's dead, love and prayers to his family if he has any, but frankly, he was sort of a bottom of the barrel type of human being. I mean, he stayed with me for a week. I don't know why I didn't kick him out on the second day. Yeah, he comes to my house, he's got nothing in his hand, not even a bundt cake, I mean, who comes to someone's house? You don't bring some, learn how to act, Oh my God! Charlie's dead? Why didn't anybody tell me? When did this happen? Did anybody put it on Facebook that Charlie was dead? Did anybody tweet it? I'm on Twitter like every 5 minutes. I would have read it. How come I gotta find out through some lawyer that Charlie is dead? Oh my God. I did set him up with a girlfriend of mine because, frankly, she's desperate, and I thought, what the hell? But even she, and I'm talking this girl, she cannot get anyone. Even she says to me, Sheila, what are you doing? Setting me up with this kind of buffoon. I'd rather be alone. I would rather be alone than to be with this kind of man. Yeah. I'm at the library. Because, I don't have, a computer. Or, a house. So, they say I'm supposed to say things about Charlie. I don't really remember him. I remember that he smelled bad, which is saying a lot. I needed time to put together a playlist to talk about how I feel about Charlie being dead, and I didn't have the time because nobody told me he was dead. No one, put up an old picture of them on Instagram. Nobody tagged a photo on Facebook. Nobody, sent out an email blast. No one thought to, create a webpage as a memorial for Charlie? Oh my God, guys. Hello? I am here to talk about Charlie. Charlie would always say to me, Antonella, you are so beautiful and so wonderful and so talented and so thin. And I do not deserve to have you as my friend because you are so beautiful and so wonderful and so talented and so thin, and I am scum. And to this I would say to him, you are correct. He ate me at a house and home. I could not keep him full enough. Finally, I told him, hon, look, there's a McDonald's down the next road, go knock yourself out. He drank all my liquor. You know, and some of the liquor was good liquor, you know. Some of it was gifts from my wedding. I mean, you know, what kind of person comes to your house and acts that way? When I hear that Charlie is dead, I immediately think, how does this affect me? And I realize I am very sad because now there is no one to tell me how beautiful I am and how wonderful I am and how talented I am and how thin I am. And I will miss that. That is a big thing for me to miss. I kind of like it when people tell me I am wonderful and talented and beautiful and thin. When I first meet Charles, I tell him you will die young and alone. I was right. Hey y'all, my name is Emmy Ray Johnson. I'm here to talk about Charlie. First of all, I was so shocked to hear that he were dead and he were not murdered. I thought somebody was going to get that some bitch sooner or later. But it were an elephant that did it? I wish to tell you all now a song that I dedicate to Charlie. And one of the only things I cannot do very well is to sing. So instead I will say to you the words now. One night I'm in my box on the street. And he fell into it. Fell into my house on the street. And I'm like, hey man, could you give me like $1? You broke my house. And he was like, I'll go get you some money, but it's raining. And I don't want to get wet. So I'm like, well, here, borrow my totes. Like, I can't believe that Charlie is dead, and I had to find out through some lawyer's email instead of from you guys. I mean, he had awful personal hygiene, you know. I mean, he rarely bathed, and instead he would just pour cologne all over himself, you know, morning, noon, and night with the cologne. I mean, honestly, one day I almost vomited from his stench. I mean, he just stunk. I love myself. I want you to love me. Anywho, I met Charlie on the internet. He had posted that he had want to shoot things and make them dead. So I tell him, you come down to my house, you can blow the heads off of any little fuckers you want. So he did. When I feel down, I want you above me. And he passed gas at the table. I mean, you know, I was raised that, you know, men don't do that in front of women. It's just disgraceful. And, you know, so finally I started grounding up some Beano and putting it in his oatmeal in the morning. I mean, you know, just to give myself some relief. I mean, God, the stench of this person. I search myself. I want you to find me. And it was red. And it had a duck on the handle. And it fit in my pocket. And I liked it. And he took it. He never came back. I forget myself. I want you to remind me. I have to say, you know, I had to have the place fumigated when he left. I mean, you know, I had to call in Stanley Steamer to get the stench out of the carpets. I mean, you know, I have wall to wall. You know, and it's only because of the goodness of my husband's heart that this man stayed in my house. Otherwise, you know, I would have kicked him out on, like, you know, hour 1. Because, frankly, you know, 5 minutes in this man's presence, and, you know, you want to rip your hair out. You know, he's just an awful, awful human being. I don't want anybody else. When I think about you, I touch myself. We put him in the twins' room. He took the bottom bunk, and we had Pooter and Pumpkin share the top bunk. Well, come to find out, nobody told me, but Pooter and Pumpkin hated each other. And 2 days into Charlie's stay, Pooter had killed Pumpkin. But we did not know he were dead because Charlie smelled so bad, we didn't smell Pumpkin. Charlie sucked. He wore these shirts, like, these horrid shirts, unbuttoned all the way down to his navel, you know, and with the hair, like, he had this hair. It was like another shirt under his shirt, you know, with all the hair, and it was all different colors too. It was black and blonde and gray and red and white and brown, and frankly, I would not be surprised if there was purple in there, because he just had all this cornucopia of different colored hairs on his chest, and, you know, showing it off with the gold chain. I mean, come on, what year is this, you know? How come nobody tweeted it? So whoever is in charge of, like, Charlie's stuff, if you find a red totes, it's mine. You know, it's mine. And I want it back. So one night, we invited Father Donatelli over to have dinner with us, you know. So I invite Father Donatelli. I tell him, Father Donatelli, you know, I really feel like God is testing me with this man, you know, because frankly, you know, I want to slap him in the face and kick him to the curb. And, you know, Father Donatelli told me, you know, Sheila, all God's creatures deserve a chance. You know, that was in the beginning of the night. But then finally, you know, we finished the dinner. And I bring out the desserts that I bought, you know, the cannoli, you know, the tiramisu, you know, the pastry, the large pastry, the small pastry, you know, the cake, the cheesecake, Italian with the ricotta cheese, you know, we like that. I put it all out. It's like a Venetian hour at a wedding. I got all the coffees. I got the decaf, the regular. I got the espresso. I got the cappuccino. I got all the assorted teas. I got cocoa for the children. I mean, you know, with the whipped cream and the marshmallows. You know, I don't hold back, you know, when I have guests. And, you know, after he finishes eating all this food, this beautiful food, he asks me for the number of the Chinese restaurant. Well, I'm telling you, I almost lost it. And so finally, at the end of the night, you know, I walk Father Donatelli to his car. And I said, Father Donatelli, please, you know, am I being a bad Catholic by wanting to throw this man out? And he said, Sheila, no, this motherfucker's got no chance.